2022? Do you feel like your time is being wasted with Dillon Gabriel?
Well, no. Now I want to, especially now, based on how bad the early returns are. Kenny, I can't wait to see him on Friday night.
I turned the mics off.
I cannot wait to see him on Friday night.
I turned the mics off during Daryl's interview, and I said to you guys, and I had to say to Daryl before I sneeze.
I'm excited to see him.
I had to say to Daryl before I sneeze there, I had to say, he's got to be that bad. I've never heard Daryl. Daryl has talked tough before and then kind of oh, well, him and a. Daryl talked tough the entire interview. And so I'm convinced either Daryl don't know what he's looking at, which might be fun. That might be more fun. Or this guy must just be that bad. I've never heard Daryl speak so strongly against a quarterback like I've heard Daryl talk about Dillon Gabriel. And you think about the bad QBs that have come around, and Daryl had this to say.
He's not good. He's not an NFL quarterback, not right now.
Jeez.
And the fact they keep running him out there for first team reps, and part of it I get because Kenny Pickett's banged up with a hamstring injury, so there's not a lot he can do. But this goes back. They have been putting him out there first with the 11-on-11 going back to the offseason program. They're cramming this guy down our throats, and it's not good.
Cramming him down our throats.
Right. Is there a chance?
Is there a chance what?
I'm going to say something audacious. I'm going to say something that I'm going to get eye rolls over. In fact, Daryl, I almost want to get him back on the phone. And I don't know if there's a noise an eye roll makes, but I would love to see if that's possible. Is there a chance Dillon Gabriel, who started, 64 games he played in college, put up these all-time numbers, 155 touchdowns against just 32 INTs. Yeah. Is there a chance he's a gamer? Is there a chance that some guys they used to say Brett Favre, not good practice player. Once the lights turned on,
I don't know. How many guys have we seen in the past umpteen years we thought, well, could they be gamers, and they just sucked? It's made me more interested to see what's happening on Friday.
I know, but
I was already interested enough because of Shedeur.
When Kevin reiterates every time he talks how great he wants to be, we are hearing about a guy that doesn't belong in football, chose the wrong sport.
That's what Daryl said.
Yeah, so the way we're talking about him, where if he comes out and he just balls out on Friday in a preseason game, do we all have to take a step back and go, why are we covering training camp the way we cover it? We don't know how to cover training camp if that's the case.
Oh, and then now you're making me hope so.
I would love it. It'd be amazing.
You're making me hope so.
It would be amazing.
Because
I
if he
am
goes
so
out there,
excited to see him.
If he goes out and he goes 10 of 12 and he has a great outing and he has 100 yards and a touchdown, then I really don't. I'm going to use that every day, all day, because when it came to the Shedeur stuff, and I'm defensive of Shedeur, even though the Shedeur fans who are not Browns fans don't understand that. I've been defensive of Shedeur. I don't think that they're trying to screw him over. I don't think that they're trying to humble him. I don't think that they are trying to break him or anything like that. I don't think they're trying to do any of that stuff. I think they're trying to help Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, I think, will be good enough to eventually take this job and start at some point. But I don't think they're going out of their way to mess up Shedeur Sanders. Those folks might not understand that when I say that, but I don't. But I also think that if these guys go out there and a guy like Dillon Gabriel goes out and plays very, very well, what I hate so much in my arguments that I'm getting back are those stupid camp stats, because they're stupid. We don't know the situations that they're being put in. So I don't know exactly where he might be throwing to. Did the guy run the wrong route? We've talked about this so many times before. But if you see stats and you see 8 of 9, 9 of 11, 9 of 12, 12 of 13, whatever it might be, people get excited about that. Okay, but you can still have a good day and still be 50-50. You can still have a good day and have guys run the wrong routes on you because you know everywhere it's supposed to go. We will find out more on Friday. But if Dillon Gabriel, I'd have to believe that what Daryl's saying about Dillon Gabriel isn't just about, well, he was 6'8". Well, no. Apparently he was just bad. Bad all the way around.
Here's more Daryl.
It's not a height thing. It's not personal. I mean, he's rolling out and he can't hit guys that are wide open. He is not all that great at times during the warm-up periods. He's pretty good during 7-on-7 when there's no offensive and defensive lines, but he's just not a good quarterback.
Are the Browns wasting our time with Dylan Gabriel, or are they wasting our time with any of these 4 quarterbacks? Are we wasting our time with any of these quarterbacks on this roster? Who is wasting our time?
You're wasting exactly 1 football season until they draft another one next year.
Doesn't matter. I mean, anything can happen between now and next year. You don't know that. Whose time is being wasted? I have an idea, but I'm actually afraid to share it.
Well, Ken, we have this radio show. You should share that idea.
Because it's two different answers. If anybody's wasting anybody's time, and there's going to be a lot of people who don't like it. If anybody's wasting anybody's time on this roster, or they're wasting our time with anybody. When it comes to the locker room, it's a completely different answer than what it is for the fan base. But if we're talking about the fan base's time, if we're wasting anyone's time with any of these guys, and it's hard to say that because he's not getting a lot of reps. Isn't it Joe? If we're talking about wasting the fans' time, then the only thing I say is he's 40 years old. What does he do after this year? He's not, Aaron Rodgers, I don't even think a lot of people is Aaron Rodgers anymore. Like Tom Brady played past 40. He's the greatest to ever do it. So Tom's not an example because he's the greatest to ever do it. In the locker room, in the fans who know and trust Joe Flacco, you're not wasting anybody's time. But when it comes to in the locker room, you're not wasting those veterans' time. They trust Joe. They like Joe. He should be the number 1 guy. But when it comes to you as a fan, guys, do not come after the messenger here. There's no doubt. Like Kenny Pickett is a leash young. I don't think Kenny Pickett's going to give you much. But Kenny Pickett's 26 years old, 26, 27? Like there could very well be a future with Kenny Pickett. Shador and Dylan Gabriel, they're both pups. So if you're a team that's looking for the future and you got these 2 first-round picks next year, why wouldn't you give the pups the opportunity? Like for the fans, everybody loves Joe. The line was 2 hours long to go get his autograph down at Hartville, was the Hartville flea market down there when they did the signing 2 years ago. People love Joe Flacco.
He had just gone on a incredible, age-defying, just one of the all-time inexplicable playoff runs towards the end of a season.
Exactly.
We're a team that we didn't think had any shot.
And I like
the playoffs.
And everybody likes Joe for that, but I'm talking about this year. And all Joe is 2 years older.
Mm-hmm.
He's 2 years older. There might be some magic left in there, but how much magic is really there? To carry us through a 17-game schedule to the playoffs? Does anybody believe that? No, you don't. So the only one who actually, quote unquote, wastes our time. God, I already know I'm going to have to shut off the computer because I'm going to get killed for that opinion. But tell me I'm wrong. I want 216-474-0092. I'll knock on the computer screen for whatever reason. Tell me I'm wrong by that. Is anybody in this room? Can anybody in this room tell me I'm wrong? I'm talking about the fans, not the team. It's not a waste of Joel Bitonio or Wyatt Teller or David Njoku or Jerry Judy. Certainly not Jerry Judy. But I think totally not a waste of his time.
Kenny, like I said this at the end of last week. Like the one that I'm looking forward to seeing is Shador.
Yes.
That's the one I'm looking forward to seeing. But they're basically telling everybody that he is nowhere near ready. And we're only seeing,
and the split is
we're
that
only
people
seeing
think
some 7-on-7 throws. We're only seeing some practice film where he can't be tackled, and so half the plays he'd probably be dead. That he's making these miraculous throws down the field, but I'm still excited about him because he's the only guy that can make those throws down the field.
So again, is there anybody from the peanut gallery up there or any of these 2 dudes in here that can disagree with me on that about Joe Flacco? Nothing but stone silence from the room. So I just told everybody the truth that they don't want to say. I'm just the bad guy in this. I'm just the bearer of bad news.
What do you mean by bad guy?
I don't think it's.
I'm not trying to be the bad
situation.
guy. I'm just saying the bearer of bad news. Because no one wants to admit that with Joe because they like Joe.
Well, he's the most waste of a time of a long-term Browns fan's future, right?
And right now,
but in the moment, I don't think he wastes your time. In the moment, he gives you the best chance to have a good Sunday.
Yes. Now,
so that's not a waste of my time. But if I'm planning on going to Huntington Bank Field and watch a football game, he gives me the best chance to win a game right now. And I want to have fun and have a good day.
And that's great. But does anybody in this room
But that's
or on the phones?
2026 Ken's problem, not 2025 Ken's problem, right?
It's Owen and Mai's problem.
Yeah.
Well, not as much yours as it is mine.
Yeah, I can just
because nobody in this room or anybody on the phones thinks they're going to the playoffs this year. Nobody thinks they're going to the playoffs. So if they're not going to the playoffs, fans are going to say you're either growing or dying. So that's what makes this season so messed up. You have this. I mean, he's a star. Shedeur Sanders is a star. Whether you love him or hate him,
he's a college football
he
star.
is a college
we don't know if he's a
star.
star quarterback
We
yet,
don't know,
but he's a
still
star. But he is a star.
Yes, he's interesting. He is the son of a very interesting, legendary person there.
But unfortunately for him, that ends very quickly if you're fourth string.
Clearly.
Going into the season on a really bad football team. That's the end of the Shedeur stardom talk. Now it's, can he even stay in the league?
But this is the issue that they have here. This is the issue that they have. And so I don't think that they ever thought that Shedeur Sanders, I think they decided to take Shedeur Sanders after they were done with the draft on day 2. I think they might have thought on day 2 at the end of the night that they all got together and were like, you know what? Or maybe even in the early morning of day 3, if he's there later on, we have other people we like, but if he happens to be there later on, maybe we'll take a gander at him. Maybe we'll take a swing. I don't think that they thought Dylan Gabriel, clearly, that pick said that Shedeur Sanders was off their board before that. So they decided later on Friday night into Saturday morning that if Shedeur's there, maybe we'll kick the tires on him. Because you bring in Joe Flacco, then you have Joe, you have Kenny Pickett, you have Dylan Gabriel. And so after that, then Shedeur actually was there, and so they decided to kick the tires on it. But what messes it up even more is that you still have less of an identity than you ever had. What is your identity? What are you doing? Are you a playoff team this year? Nobody's saying you're a playoff team this year. So you can't say you're a playoff team. So because it would make sense to be like, Joe's our guy. We stick with Joe. And Joe we trust. Away we go. But you got 2 rookies, and then you got Kenny in the middle of that as a off the scrap heap kind of, let's see if we can revitalize his career. Well, now you got 4 guys. And for a lot of fans, it feels like you don't have enough games to figure out anything there. So are you building for the future, or are you trying to win now? You don't have an identity. You don't. At least if you had an identity, if fans truly knew, like, hey, you're building for the future here. All right, fine, we're building for the future. Except you can't do that because you have a head coach and a general manager going into year 6. So now you're stuck. It doesn't make me happy to say it. I like Joe Flacco a bunch, man. It was a fun ride in 2023. But if we're looking for anybody to quote unquote waste their time, it would be that they brought in a 40-year-old quarterback where there's no 2026 for him, or 27 for that matter.
But I'm telling you, the craziest part of all of this is that they're almost assuredly drafting a quarterback next year. That has changed the whole conversation, I think, because we're not stupid. We know they traded the Travis Hunter pick because they wanted to bolster their chances in next year's draft, where on paper today there is a quarterback class that is 10 times better than the one we just had, in which we took 2 quarterbacks in the 3rd and 5th round. Roster management and, thinking about the future of your draft allocations, it makes almost no sense that they did that in last year's draft. And that, I think, is what is driving a lot of fans insane and putting crazy pressure on the situation this year. And that's why I said, I tweeted on Friday, I'm like, I don't think people realize and fully understand how difficult this is going to be for Shedeur or Dylan Gabriel to play well enough so that their job is safe next year as the starting quarterback, because they're going to draft a quarterback next year.
If you're going to win 5 or less games, you can't play good enough to not win more than 5 games. You can't play bad enough to keep your job and only win 5 games. I mean, they would have to be so terrible on defense. And I guess you could try to start to argue that, but we haven't seen any of it yet. They would have to be the the most horrific team on defense for you to go, okay, Dylan or Shedeur is my guy, and we're going to draft other guys then. Because you're just not going to have that much time. So you did throw a wrench into your plans in day 3, where Shedeur happened to be there. You decided you were going to take Shedeur. Okay, great. But now I have to find some time for him. Now I have to find some reps for him. And I think Saturday, if there was an arm soreness, maybe Saturday would have been that day. With Kenny out or Kenny not practicing team.
Missed opportunity.
And it's unfortunate.
Just like Kenny Pickett. For Kenny Pickett, this whole thing has been a missed opportunity because this was going to be the place to salvage his career and to lay claim that he deserved to be a first-round pick. And now he can't even get in there.
216-474-0092. Ben in Akron. Hello, Ben.
Hello. So next year's obviously the year, and this year's all about Sanders. So I'm only watching if Sanders is playing. So we're wasting the fans' time if we don't play Sanders.
So you're not going to watch a regular season game with Joe Flacco?
Well, first off, I'm definitely not watching preseason unless Sanders is playing. So if the Browns are losing, I'm wasting my time. So unless Sanders is playing.
Okay. All right, Ben. Thank you very much for the call.
Well, you asked, he answered.
I asked and he answered. It's still so you're not going to watch Joe Flacco at the beginning of the season? You got to see how well Joe does. I mean, maybe Joe has the magic, or maybe Joe's falling apart.
Everybody's watching the opener.
I would assume so.
It's not until you get, like, if they started the season 0-6, then the only thing people want to see at that point is Shedeur.
Yes.
They won't care about anybody else but Shedeur.
Well, because it looks like at the end of this training camp, I mean, if it's going the way that Daryl's saying it's going, then at the end of this training camp, Shedeur should be ahead of Dylan Gabriel, should he not? Right? 216-474-0092. Is anybody of the four quarterbacks, are they wasting your time with any of them? It's a tough thing to answer because I think when the locker room, furthest thing from the truth is that Joe Flacco would be wasting their time. It's a guy they trust. But if you're looking at it big picture as a Browns fan, these players, some of them may be here next year, some of them may be retired, some may be gone. You'll be here next year. What is it setting forward for you? Because Joe's only got so much left in the tank. So if there's anybody that's a waste of your time, it's probably that guy. 216-474-0092. And Owen isn't thrilled with something we haven't discussed yet today.